Right, and welcome back to another episode of Reddit. Today's episodes are wedding disasters.
I bet you there's been a few of them too.
Oh yeah. Wow. We've got a bit of a story about ours, don't we? It's not
Less
quite
of a disaster than probably what I can imagine, but...
Yeah, so we got married in 2019 when our daughters were 1 and 3. Well, they're two younger
nearly
ones.
3. She was nearly
3, and she decided she wanted to be sick for our whole reception. She
It was
threw
good.
up.
All over my suit. It was great. I loved it.
Oh yeah.
I ended up spending about 45 minutes trying to clean her up and myself, and
So we were a
was good
bit
fun.
distracted until
Yeah.
they decided someone nice offered to take her back to their house for the night.
yeah, it was good.
Um,
So we could finish off the wedding.
the sad
the
part-
reception got finished, otherwise I would have been gone.
Well, the sad part was they took the other one as well, which meant there wasn't a great deal of photos, which was
No,
the
that was
disappointing part.
the disappointing part. There's not really any photos of them in it.
No.
There's a couple from just being around, but the actual wedding photos.
And at the start, and me getting ready because I was with mummy before, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't think ours is nowhere near as bad as some of the ones we're about to read tonight. What do you think?
Knowing Reddit, I guarantee there's some out there that are shocking.
Oh, yeah.
On just...
Yes.
Well, we both read a little bit of Reddit, and
Yeah.
some of the stuff you see, you just go, what?
What the hell?
How do people think like this or do this?
Some are a bit too long for us to read on camera.
You'd be sitting here for an hour just reading one story.
Yeah, but anyway, alright, well,
Get into it?
I reckon we get straight into it.
I reckon.
Because these are going to be interesting.
Wedding ones.
Yes.
Yes.
We haven't really been to too many disastrous weddings, have we? I've been to a couple of, I've been to a surprise wedding. It was a birthday
Yeah, I
turn
missed that
surprise
one.
wedding. You missed that one. And prior to me being with you, I went to it was meant to be an engagement party turned wedding. It was actually quite nice.
I went to a wedding not long after we met. Your
Mm.
sisters. I've been to my best mate's wedding.
And they were all
And-
pretty good.
Everyone's wedding I've been to has been...
So we haven't had that
Been-
disaster.
I was going to say, they've all been pretty straight
I
down
think
the line.
compared to them, ours was
smooth.
the most disastrous, and it wasn't even
It's not
disaster.
a disaster,
really
it's
by,
just unfortunate.
Yeah,
It was just an unfortunate thing that...
but that's just us. There has to always be something
has to be
of
something.
the
But it's something
ordinary.
a kid can't
Yeah.
control.
That's it. And you know the sad part is she still remembers it to this day. She always brings it
I
up.
know. She's nearly 8 and she still remembers it. And that was
But-
5 years ago.
What can you
So-
do? The first one is, am I the arsehole for refusing to attend my friend's man-free wedding? Don't
Well,
bother,
it's a
child. It depends.
it's a bit hard for me because I am a man.
I guess
So
I've
it's
been-
like, well, if you got invited to a
yeah, I'd
woman's
like you
only
to come,
a wedding,
but
it's like, but you can't come because there's no men. So it's like, well, okay, I'll stay home and do my own thing and
Still
look
be-
after the kids and
yeah,
just do
yeah,
what I got to
guess
do.
So. I guess everyone
But
takes
depends
it
if
their own
you.
way.
Yeah, it's really hard. If you're a bloke and you knew someone was getting married and they weren't inviting blokes, but it was your friend, it's like that makes it hard because you'd want to be there for them and celebrate with them, but you can't be there.
Well, actually, never
So you'd have
heard.
to almost say, look, are you doing a little celebration party type thing afterwards where
Yeah, I was about
blokes
to
are
say,
allowed?
I've never heard of a man-free wedding, but the
No.
one thing I have heard of, I think it was a very select few people to the wedding, and then they had a bigger reception.
I mean, some people do that.
Which
It's not
is weird.
uncommon.
I thought it would be the other way around, being the reception the dearest, but no, they
I know somebody
actually
got,
didn't like the limelight, I think, so to speak.
Well, a lot of people, including me, I wasn't very loud when I was saying my
No.
vows at the wedding. I was quite quiet, actually, because I don't like public speaking. Not in front of a crowd.
You had no idea how nervous I was. I was
Oh.
just as nervous.
Yeah, you just spoke a bit loud than me, which is
Somehow.
quite unusual. actually.
Yes.
Anyway, might as well get the
Alright.
story.
Yeah. Stop babbling, hey?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. English is not my first language. Apologies for any mistakes.
Apology accepted.
So my 30 female friend Lisa, 34 female, is marrying her fiance Sophie, 35 female, in 2 months. So it's a same-sex marriage, I guess. So
Yep.
I can kind of see where this is going.
So can I. They just want the women there.
I've known both of them for several years, and I am, or at least was until this whole debacle, quite close with Lisa. So I was not surprised that they've invited me to the wedding. However, on the invitation, it was noted that it's a man-free event, meaning that no men are allowed to be there.
Okay. What about the father? You know how your father usually... I know that's very... It's probably a little bit old school now, but a lot of people still, you know, the father walks through the daughter down
That
the aisle.
could be
and that.
part of the reason. One, same-sex marriage. Two, maybe one of them, they either haven't grown up with their fathers or they both lost their fathers.
It's a possibility, but it just right off the bat, I'm just like, what about the father? You know, he's... Unless the mother's walking him down the aisle.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. We'll
not
see.
Not jumping to conclusions.
Despite not being a man myself, I felt that it was a weird decision on their part. I'm also on good terms with Lisa's brother, 28 male. So I text him to ask if he knows what's up with the whole thing, and if at least brides' families are exception to the no man rule. Apparently, both him and his and Lisa's father are not invited. He doesn't know about Sophie's family, but assumes it's the same with them. And he has no idea what prompted the rule. He says that at present it has, in my opinion, understandably, turned into a whole family dispute.
Probably has.
I think so. I think I wouldn't have gone anyway because not allowing the presence of any man at all just feels weird to me. But especially in light of the information I got from Lisa's brother. I called her to say that I will be unfortunately unable to attend. She asked me why, and I tried to make up a good excuse, but I'm a shitty liar, so after she pressed me for a reason, I told her the truth, that I think the known man rule is weird and I don't want to be involved in that. I did not tell her that I contacted her brother, just that I'm not a fan of events segregated by gender. Lisa has told me that I'm not being a good friend to her because I'm not supportive of her and Sophie's wanting their wedding to be fully centered on women. I told her that it would be centered on women anyway, considering that both of the people getting married are women. She hung up and I have not heard from her since, but Sophie has been sending me messages saying I have internalized misogyny. I personally think I behaved reasonably, but Lisa and Sophie evidently disagree, so am I the arsehole in this situation?
Okay. Now, obviously they're homosexual. That's
Obviously, and
straight down the barrel.
that's
You
whatever.
can't argue that.
Yeah.
But having blokes there surely wouldn't be a problem. I wouldn't personally think, that's just me. But what about if some of your male friends or family members were also homosexual? So you sort of go, okay, you want an all-female wedding, but are they going just they want all-female, or are they going they want just female and homosexuals? Because surely there's going to be one person
Female
they know.
only.
And
look,
I think that would be awkward.
it would be awkward, but
I don't think I could go
you
to
know
an
what?
all-male wedding or an
each
all-female
to
wedding.
their own. But in no way in hell would I have my father missing out on the one day I get to walk down the aisle.
Yeah.
I only just got it in with my dad. He passed
You were
away
lucky,
a year and a month later.
Exactly right.
You know, so I couldn't bear the thought of my brothers, which were your groomsmen, and my father not being there. But do they have good relationships with the males in their family?
Well,
You wouldn't
From
think
what we
both
understand,
of them wouldn't, but
we don't really have
it
an
sounds
understanding
like
of
the
that.
brothers, all right, with the sister, but the Lisa, but
It's hard.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it, but everybody
It's different.
is different. And if this is the way they want their wedding to be remembered, so be it.
Yeah, well, look, it's the first time I've ever heard
I've never heard of it, no.
a one-sex wedding. I've never even read anything about it. Like,
No.
there's always, you know, if you usually have...
It's probably been out there, but...
Oh, yeah, but you usually have, you know, your family in it, which
Yeah.
consists of both.
Like,
and everything else in
I couldn't
between.
do it. I couldn't do it, but
No, I couldn't do it.
Let's see if they're an arsehole.
But,
So, because...
I mean, we can't judge because we're heterosexual.
Well, yeah.
So we can't judge on the either just male or just female. So
Well, that's the thing.
and obviously these girls, it's their choice, and good luck to them. But wouldn't you want your whole family there? Even if
I would.
the ones you get along with, doesn't matter if they're male or female, wouldn't you want them all there? If they don't come, that's fine. If they say no, we can't make it, they don't have to have an excuse. They just don't come. Like they just say, I'm sorry, I can't come. And if you're not good with best mates with them, you actually say, oh, thank God for that. If they do come, you just go, well, I hope they don't cause trouble, or depending on what type of person they are. So I personally, it's just odd. But like I said, we can't judge.
And look, this is actually, they may or may not have been, I was about to say that, they may or may not have been married yet because it was 81 days ago. But I will tell you this, so the comments might tell us, but it hasn't been deemed either way.
Okay, so 81 days.
And it was 81 days ago.
See, that's a couple of months ago.
Anyway, we'll get to some comments. So, first one is not the arsehole. That's really cringe, and you're correct not to be supporting something like that. Okay, that's to put it bluntly, I guess.
Yeah.
Some comments to that was, I'm reminded of the post where the OP was not invited to his co-worker's wedding, despite everybody else on their team being invited. Turns out the bride wanted to exclude all single men, except for close relatives, because she went to another wedding and a big brawl broke out among some of the single male attendees. But excluding all men turns it up to a whole nother level.
Yeah, I sort of think that too.
I've never seen that Reddit. I wish I did now.
No, I wish I had seen it too. We could have made some more comments on that.
No, I think both are pretty much exactly the same in notion. Adding an extra qualifier doesn't really change the idea that you had a bad experience and think the demographic of the individual was the problem. Yeah? And it's so easy to avoid without being sexist. 1, give bartenders strict orders to not serve anyone who looks visibly intoxicated or they've already served too many drinks to. 2, hire security with free reign to kick out anyone being violent, even if just verbally.
Yep.
And 3, don't invite people with obvious differences or talk to them beforehand and set them as far away as possible.
Now, Australia has probably slightly stricter rules than some other countries when it comes to alcohol, like intoxication. You literally can get in trouble if you're serving drinks to someone who is well and truly drunk.
So it's not just the bartenders that get charged. It's
the
venue and the person.
And a lot of people get charged for it. So if you're well and truly drunk, and you don't get served often, or not often, but quite a lot, that can cause problems everywhere. But if you're at a wedding and you get kicked out because you're drunk, that's your own fault. And at a wedding, you don't want people getting smashed at your wedding. It's okay to have drinks, but you want everyone to have a good time. That's the idea of a wedding. It's not just about, it is about the bride and groom, but it's not just about that. The reception's about everyone to have a good time too. I think that was a good point about, have bouncers there. Make sure the bar staff know full well how many, or at least have a rough idea how many someone's had. If they've had too many, tell them. We just refuse to serve them alcohol. You can have anything else.
That's probably not even the reason. There's probably another reason to it, but if they were the reasons why they're not inviting males, it's not all males that start trouble.
Oh, no, I was going to say, women can start some big trouble too.
Let's get some more comments out of the way. Yeah, the people getting married are the sexist ones, not OP, not the arsehole.
Mm-hmm.
OP is not the arsehole. If I were the brother and she didn't invite me because it's a super small event, hey, it is what it is. But if the reason was because I'm a guy, then she just drove a rift between us. And it's one she would have to be the one to repair.
Mm-hmm.
I'd honestly go low contact or no contact with her at that point. Don't want certain types of people, including family, in your life or to come to events just because they are a certain race or gender, and that's the sole reason they're not invited. Well, I'd prefer not to have sexist bigots in mind, so I'm happy to oblige.
Yeah.
Not the arsehole. I think the no man rule is weird and I don't want to be involved in that. That is a statement in which you are the subject, not men. You don't want to go because you're uncomfortable. Simple as that. She's accusing you of misogyny instead of accepting your own feminine decision. Not the arsehole. If it's a hill she wants to die on, the friendship isn't worth trying to save. Someone's like, sounds like they're alienating family and friends. Someone's like, seriously, it's super weird to pick a sexist battle with their own family.
That's a little bit weird.
People are showing their true toxicity. My first thought as well, domestic violence is especially bad in a lot of lesbian relationships. I half wonder if it's an isolation tactic, by one of them.
Okay, that's news to me.
This isn't a rule that two mentally healthy people come up with and afterwards even stick by. Those women don't need a wedding right now. They need therapy badly. Sounds like they are doing what they want. It's their wedding. Yes, okay.
I agree with that, but I've never heard of lesbian relationships becoming what was it? I'm trying to think of the right word now. Domestic violence.
No, I haven't heard of that.
I would have thought that was more heterosexual type thing than
actually,
homosexual thing. But I mean, look, we don't play in that playground, so to speak. So, and we don't know a lot of people that are homosexual. So therefore, you can't. We haven't got a lot of news on that type of thing. So for all we know, it is.
Well, this comment is exactly how we do it. Like, we obviously haven't been married this long. Not the arsehole. I'm a heterosexual male and have been married to my wife for 34 years. We have a diversity of friends and co-workers. I would not attend a male-only wedding and my wife would not attend a female-only wedding. There has to be mutual respect for everyone. It sounds like your friend is the one with an issue and not you.
Yeah. Look, I mean, we've been together for nearly 10 years, married for almost 5. And I agree with that. I'd say that you wouldn't go to an all-female. I wouldn't go to an all-male. Unless it was like, if it was your absolute best friend and you were one of the bridesmaids or something, maybe you would go. But you'd still be up and down about it, wouldn't you? You'd still be going, do I really want to go to that? Like, it's just going to be full of women. So...
Anyway, at the end of the day, I think it's weird. I wouldn't do it. I couldn't think of that my male role models in my life and males that mean the world to me.
And pushing them aside.
I couldn't think of them not coming to my wedding or pushing them aside or anything like that. I guess I have a tight-knit family. We are close. Yeah. You've got a close family. And we both wouldn't think of it, and I guess you don't know the full picture. Was there violence or...
It could be other problems that haven't been involved.
Or maybe just on one side, so the other side is just going along with it to help.
Yeah.
How do we know that? Because it said Lisa's brothers doesn't understand. How do we know Sarah hasn't had a rough upbringing? You don't know. And Lisa's... Sophie, is it? I thought it was Sarah.
No, it was Sophie.
Might have been. And Lisa's trying to support her.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly
we don't know
right.
That. It's not... Obviously, even that girl doesn't know the full
I was going to say, the
it.
friend... Oh, look, honestly, I'm guessing it hasn't been deemed the arsehole, not the arsehole.
Way.
I'm guessing it's going to go not the arsehole. Yeah. They've gone, I'm not going to that because I don't understand it. It's as simple as that. Don't understand it.
All right, I guess there's really nothing more to say.
No, there's not really.
I think it's time for another story.
I think so. A lot of people just said that's not the arsehole. Sorry, they're not the arsehole. And look, maybe one day we'll be able to come back to find out whether they'll deem the arsehole or not, but who knows.
Yeah. So our next story is a bit of a long one, so bear with us. It's actually got a few updates to it.
Bear with her reading. Sometimes she gets words confused.
I do not.
You do.
You're not.
Oh, I'm an arse, I know.
Anyway.
But I love you, and you love me, so it's all good.
That's it. That's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
So this one is another one from Am I the Arsehole? We need to find some other ones.
Oh, it was probably one, I reckon, I don't know if it's truth or not, but if you've Googled it, Am I the Arsehole would probably be the biggest...
Oh, it'd have to be.
It'd have to be. Because a lot of things go to Am I the Arsehole, and then some of them quite a lot and go to Am I the Devil? So it's
we
gotta
have to
be
do one of them one day. I don't
just
think we
devil-
have.
just devils,
just
yeah.
devils. Anyway, this one
devils
is.
only. Anyway,
This one is. Am I the arsehole for cancelling my brother's wedding venue reservations after he uninvited me?
look, off the top, probably, yeah. Because I'd be pretty shitty.
Oh, yeah. All right, here we go. So, I, 37 male, have a younger brother, Tom, not his real name, 26 male, who's getting married in 3 months. A year ago, when he and his fiancée were planning their wedding, they were struggling to find an affordable venue. I own a vacation property with a large yard that's been used for a couple of small weddings before, so I offered it to him as a wedding venue, rent-free. My only condition was that I wanted to be part of the wedding party, which he agreed to. Everything seemed fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Last week, Tom and I got into a small argument. It really wasn't a big deal, but a couple of days later, he texted me and said he and his fiancée decided to downsize their wedding party and I was no longer going to be a groomsman. I was shocked because I thought this was set in stone a year ago. I called him to ask what was going on, and he said it wasn't personal, just that they wanted to keep things small and intimate and didn't feel like they needed me in the wedding party.
There goes your venue.
Yeah. I was pretty hurt, but I didn't say anything at the time. Then it occurred to me, if I'm not important enough to be in this wedding party, why should I host the wedding at my place? So I called him again and told him that since I wasn't going to be part of the wedding, they'd need to find another venue. Now, Tom and his fiancée are furious. They say they can't afford another venue at this point and that I'm ruining their big day. My parents are also upset and say I should just let it go and still host the wedding. God, this is a doozy, eh?
Mm.
I feel like I was doing them a huge favour and they essentially uninvited me from being part of the most important day of their lives. I don't think I'm wrong to retract my offer, but now everyone's making me feel guilty. So, am I the arsehole for cancelling the venue?
Okay. First up, the deal was put me in the party and I've got a spot for you rent free. Like, just, you got to organise everything else, but I've got a spot for you.
Yeah.
Kick me out of the wedding all of a sudden, well, you know, you've broken the deal. It may not have been on paper, but it may have only been verbal, which some people would say, well, it was a verbal deal, mate, which means it doesn't mean shit. But to me, if you make a deal with someone just verbally, well, then it's a deal.
I guess the other way he could have gone about it is, okay, you can still have the venue, but now you have to pay for it.
Yeah, you
instead of rent free.
Yeah.
So
he could have said, you know, you look up the venue prices locally or whatever and say, okay, I can do it cheaper than them, but you're going to pay for it still. Because you kicked me out of the wedding party.
Oh, God.
Anyway.
It's a bit of a doozy.
Yeah.
But
it's an interesting one.
I haven't got to the updates yet, but there is a 3 edits. I'll read before getting to some comments. All right? So, edit. This blew up way more than I thought it would. Checked my messages after work today and holy crap. To answer a few questions I'm seeing repeatedly. Why did I need to offer to loan out my vacation house to be in the wedding? Repeating one of my comments. My brother and I have had a little bit of a rocky relationship most of his life. Our age difference has always been an awkward amount. And I think he's jealous of my success in life too. He's done okay, but I've climbed the corporate ladder pretty quickly in finance, and I think a lot of girls he's dated have had crushes on me, being his older brother and the more successful one. And that bothers him. He picks small things to get mad at me about because of his jealousy, and I feel like if I made it a condition of lending out my place, he would let me be in his wedding. That's possibly a little bit selfish.
Bit selfish, but he does kind of make a very, very small point. Like, you shouldn't be jealous of your siblings.
Oh,
you should be happy for them.
my oldest brother, he's way more successful than me. He may not be up the corporate ladder, but he's had a head on his shoulders.
Yeah, he always had a...
And yeah, sometimes you do feel a little bit jealous, but you don't take it out on him.
No, he's still your brother and you love him, so it's like, well done, congratulations.
Yeah, well, that's it.
You don't go and say you're an arsehole
Well, that's
for
it.
doing better. Well, he's found the right path. So,
yep.
Yeah, anyway.
Edit 2, what did you get into an argument about? He got upset at me because he thinks I don't do enough with our parents, but I travel for my job, so it's harder for me to be there in person. I also help them out financially, which he never considers as helping out. They haven't saved as much as they probably should and are getting closer to retirement, so I help them out with some bills so they can put more in their 401k accounts instead, but I guess that isn't enough. He always finds something to say I'm doing wrong.
So he's picky. He looks for the little stuff. But like, if you're giving your parents money for retirement, I'd say it's a good effort.
It is a good
especially
effort,
if they're low on money for retirement.
I do get both sides there. So you should still be seeing your parents and,
if he's overseas and stuff, because it doesn't say he's out of state or overseas, always travelling. But it doesn't mean he's, especially in today's world, he could be in contact with them all the time, seeing them face to face just over the internet. And you go, well, he's still trying to keep close with them, and then he's throwing them some cash to be like, oh, you know, you want your bill paid, I'll pay it for you. So you go, he's actually still been quite good. It's just I can't be there for your mum and dad because I'm, you know, over in Italy. It's like, well, it's hard for work. He's obviously making relatively good money, I'm guessing. So he's helping them the best he can while still working.
Yeah, well, that's... Edit 3, the one question probably on everybody's mind is, are you still invited to the wedding?
Yeah, well, that's interesting. He may still be there.
Technically, he only said, I'm not in the wedding party. But it feels like such a slap in the face at this point, and it definitely feels like he doesn't want me there. I'll try to talk to him again to see what the real issue is, because downsizing seems like BS to me.
Yeah, it kind of does. Yeah.
Alright. I'm going to read some comments. I'm curious, why didn't your brother ask you to be in the wedding to begin with? You say you made it a condition for him to use your property and he agreed. Why would it be a condition? If he didn't ask you even before the property was offered, why? Do you two not really get along or not that close? What was this argument about? Now, you say it wasn't a big deal, but maybe you don't think so, but he does. What happens for him to make up that excuse, which you know that is the deal, tells me he didn't want you in the wedding party to begin with. In that regards, I don't blame you. I think you need to elaborate regarding your relationship with your brother. Alright, so he already did in the edit anyway.
Yeah.
Petty, just like you should be. It was an agreement between the two of you. Venue, rent-free, but you were part of the wedding party. Your brother decided to punish you the wrong way. As long as he took back his part of your contract, you are no longer forced to honour your part. But it's too late for them to find something. You should tell them that as long as your brother can't honour his part of the deal, you're okay for them to do the venue at the same place, but for X amount, just like I said.
Yeah, like we said, yeah.
Payable right now because, well, the confidence is broken. Maybe it will force your brother to tell you the real reason why he doesn't want you anymore in his wedding.
Well, there may be a good reason for the brother to be like, I don't want you... He may never want to. He's gone, okay, what I'll do is accept that deal, and then towards the end say, oh, we're shrinking everything and I don't want you in it. Because what happens if, say there's 4 groomsmen, and he was one of them, but there's still going to be 4, and the brother's out, he's going to say, well, why am I out?
Yeah, well, that's it.
You know, he just wanted a free venue, basically, because the brother would have known that he owns a place where he can do that sort of thing, and was that what he was trying to do to begin with? But, I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah.
And if your parents bulk, tell them they can pay the fee instead, perhaps at a discounted rate since it's family. Your brother broke the agreement, so why should you hold up your side of it, not the arsehole.
Yeah, well, that's sort of how I'm looking at it. But...
Yeah, I get it. He shouldn't have had to say, well, put me in the wedding. Like, to begin with, your brother should have wanted you in the wedding, but
yeah,
I think it's weird as fuck. You tried to bargain yourself into the wedding, but they didn't have to agree. Well, that's true. They didn't have to agree. They could have said, nah, because, you know.
But we'll pay you this amount if you let us use your property,
Yeah.
you know.
This dude gives weird vibes. Doesn't get along with his brother, but offered his property to force himself into the wedding party. Then his explanation of why they don't get along is, I'm so rich, handsome, and successful, he's jealous. Give a narcissist vibes. Notice how he immediately said they couldn't use the venue when they said you're not a groomsman, despite still being invited. And the dude still has no idea why his brother doesn't like him.
Well, that's a valid point, actually.
Yeah.
You think about it from that point of view, it's true. He's thinking of him as like, he thinks he's rich and got everything he wants. It's like, well, maybe that's why your brother's kicked you out of the party.
Yeah.
Is because you think, he might be concerned that he's going to try and steal the wedding day for himself because he thinks he's so good. You don't know. Like, it's just...
Someone's like, I agree 1,000%. Even strangers know why they're not close after a couple of sentences.
Yeah.
Also, he is 11 years older. Why would you compare your success with a brother that turned adult when you were 30?
Yeah.
His GS always had crushes on him while being 11 years older is gross as well, to be honest.
But did his girlfriends really have a crush on the brother?
Or is he just saying
He
that?
just thinks they did. He just thinks they did. And he used to talk to the brother's girlfriends and try and make himself look so much better and be like, yeah, I'm better than my brother. You could do better. You could have me. It's sibling rivalry, really. It's what it is. It's just straight out, you both need to grow up. In fact, the OP probably is the one that needs to grow up more so.
Someone's like, I'm having difficult believing any of this because who wants to be in a wedding party, especially if they're on Reddit? They should know that nothing good can come of this. And someone that seems super weird to me too. I've been in a handful of weddings, but only because the brides requested it, despite me having it made abundantly clear in the past that I had no desire to be in anyone's wedding ever. Side note, every one of those marriages has ended badly. It's almost like people that place their desires over other people's deep discomfort make and or marry poor spouses.
Or they're just bad luck. Don't want to be anyone else's wedding because they're going to get divorced.
A lot of people who get married try to get something for free or low cost. It's not unusual or even bad unless they go nuts with the demands for free stuff.
Well, see, that's the other thing too. You know, weddings are expensive. And you go, if you can get a venue for free...
Well, that's what we did. It was free.
Yeah,
we just
the venue was free.
That's
right. We had to pay for the other stuff, but the venue was free. So you go, that's a bonus. Because you've got... Like, we had very little money. So it's like everything we could do that was next to nothing was made the whole... it was the stress. The stress was gone.
Yeah, well, that's it.
And
that
in
was,
this case, the brother's gone, oh, sweet, my brother's got a place, so on and so forth. And you go, that's... You know, it's a relief.
Well, someone's got, are you serious? Who leverages a wedding venue to be in a wedding party? How desperate are you for attention? I think you are leaving a whole lot out of the story. And someone's like, yes, the story is really fishy. There is a lot left out.
I think so. I think there's a lot between the brothers. Not to mention they are 11 years apart, as you just said before. There's a lot of stuff missing. Because... since they were kids, what has happened? What's always been? What's the common argument that's still going? You know, there could be stuff in their childhood that is still, you know, in their heads. Especially the younger brother. He could still be he could be mad at his older brother for things that happened when they were kids.
Oh, before this drags on too far, I'll get into this long edit, shall I?
Edit or update?
Update, sorry, update. Because there is some edits with it
updates
as well.
Are good.
There is a few edits with it.
Yeah, but updates are good.
Alright, so, the update. I was having a hard time believing my brother when he told me they were downsizing the wedding venue just to make it more intimate. But that's all he kept saying when I would ask for the real reason. In all honesty, my brother and I aren't that close, which I'm sure is obvious from my last post. After my emotions settled down a bit, I told my brother I wanted to talk to him. He wasn't responding to me, so I said I wanted to talk to him about potentially letting them still use my vacation house. Not totally the truth, but it seemed like a good way to get him to talk.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. He finally responded but said I couldn't come over. He would only meet me somewhere public. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Which seemed weird. We ended up meeting at a bar late last night that I liked near my place, and I straight up just asked him why he was really kicking me out of his wedding, and I would only consider letting them use my vacation house if he told me the truth. He was getting pretty fidgety and looking away from me and finally told me the truth. Apparently, his fiancée heard that I may do a bit of cocaine here and there for fun, and she told him that she didn't want a crackhead in her wedding. Okay.
That's fair enough. I can understand that, but...
He said he actually kind of agreed with her and was disappointed in what I was doing. I told him if I'm too much of a crackhead to be there, then they really shouldn't want to use a crackhead's house for their wedding, and I left. I don't really see how it impacts them, what I do in my free time, but I really don't care to be there now if that's what they think of me. I haven't said a word to him since then, but I'm guessing I won't be hearing from him again soon.
Probably not.
Okay, again, edit to answer some consistent questions/comments. Oh, you must be a drug addict. I do coke maybe a handful of times a year, recreationally with some people that I party with. Obviously, this gossip travelled through the grapevine where circles overlapped and got to them somehow. I wasn't discovered because I'm an addict. Like some have said, it's more common than you think. You'd be surprised who does it. And edit 2. You must have a drug problem for them to react that way about it. My brother's fiance comes from a very religious and conservative family. They think anyone that does a hard drug must be a degenerate and is going to hell. That's the funny part about her calling me a crackhead. Crack is whack. She clearly doesn't understand coke is different, but I'm not going to go on a mission to educate her. It would be wasted effort on my part. You can be successful in life and recreationally use drugs. The two aren't mutually exclusive. Honestly, pretty much anyone I know that does coke has plenty of money and a great job. Or they married someone rich/inherited money. Final comments. Well, after scrolling through a decent amount of comments, I've come to the conclusion that I'm obviously a terrible douchebag with an enormous drug problem that only thinks about myself and is extremely conceited. Some part of that may be true, but I do care about my family and try to help my parents in the way that I know how. For those of you that are familiar with Fight Club, I am a single serving friend kind of person. I don't really get close with many people and I have a hard time staying in one place. That's why I have a job where I need to travel all the time. I like the variety and the challenge of it. Settling down, having kids, all that makes me super uncomfortable. Obviously, I'd be a terrible father, so there's no way I'll have kids. In brackets, snip, snip. My brother is a settled down kind of guy, and thinking about it, that's probably why he doesn't like me. I wanted to be a groomsman for him because I wanted to be part of something in his life, but in a capacity I can handle. One last note. I've got awesome parents that love me for who I am, and they know I love them even if I'm not around a ton. They worked super hard to raise us and give us everything we needed when they came from a poorer background. I help them how I know I can. Not everyone shows they care in the same way you do. So chill and don't think I'm an ass because my way of caring is mostly financial. Peace out, friends.
You know what? That makes it easier to sort of understand the type of person he is. Obviously, I've never done drugs. And if he does it a handful of times a year and he's not an addict, like if he could just go, no, I'm never touching it again.
Oh, well, that's it.
That's his choice. But I do think, I think they've both got problems. Honestly, I don't know where I sit with this post. It's very hard.
It is, isn't it?
It's extremely difficult to pick one side or the other, which is usually a bit uncommon with Am I the Arsehole? You can usually At the start with the title, you might pick one and then realise it's completely wrong. But this is, it's hard.
In explanation marks, we like the favours we can excrete from you, but we prefer not to be seen with you. Classy. And someone's like, not the arsehole. That's what's ironic is that the brother has the nerve to ask to use OP's house for his wedding, even after calling him a crackhead. On top of that, he's too cowardly to admit the real reason for disinviting OP in the first place. The entitlement here is unbelievable.
You will see the brother's like, oh, we're downsizing, but it wasn't downsizing at all. It was just your fiance's, oh, he's a crackhead. Well, no, he's a cokehead. There's actually another term for that. I can't think of it. And he's not an addict. I don't. I know how drugs work, but I don't understand people doing them. But you know, each to their own. I think I'm leaning more towards not the arsehole. He finally found out why brother was saying we don't want you there.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I'm kind of glad he did for himself. It's like, okay, so it's your fiance that doesn't want me there because of so on and so forth.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, so it really is. It's one of those stories you just go, I don't know anymore. It's
we pretty much got everything out of it, but a couple of small comments before we move on. What I hate is it wasn't like they were concerned for OP's health and well-being, just how things impact them. If it is such a big problem, it should be about his health. I'd never talk to them again and make them get a new venue.
Yeah, I think I would definitely... Okay, you don't want me in the wedding. All right, I'll accept that, but it's going to cost you whatever to use... Like, he's obviously done all right. He's got his holiday house. He helps with the parents for their bills and stuff because obviously they helped when he was a kid. Like from what he said, you know, mum and dad did everything they could for us. Yeah. For both of them, mind you, and he's helping out now, not little brother. He's not doing much. He's just thinking about his wedding in this stage. And you look at it and go, he's doing well. He's not... If he was a crackhead, he'd be on the streets or living in a very poor area and stuff. But he's, from what we can read, doing quite well for himself. So you go, the fiancé probably needs to get slightly more educated about how some of that stuff works. And he said it himself, I'm not going to do it. Like, if she doesn't want to believe it, what I'm saying, we'll just stiff.
Well, that's it. All right, one final comment. I would bet my grilled cheese sandwich that mum and dad were aware of this at least right before this and never piped up about why they wanted it to the change, but were okay to use the property of a known crackhead. This hurts my heart that no one ran and did an intervention or was worried about the OP, just worried about how they looked at their wedding.
Well, if he was seriously, you know, a drug addict or something, wouldn't they all be jumping up and down saying, mate, we want to help you get off them?
Well, that's it.
If he's using it a dozen times or half a dozen times a year...
Do you know what? I changed my view of this. He's not the arsehole.
No, I think brother is... Or actually, not brother. I think fiancés.
Depending if the brother's still telling the truth. But,
very well.
All right, look, the brother... Yeah, he shouldn't have, kind of, so to speak, bribed the brother. But he just wants to fit in. I'm guessing he wants to be wanted by his brother.
I was going to say, after, you know, being 11 years apart and all that, how do you know he's not thinking little brother's grown up a bit?
Yeah.
I want to be part of little brother's life. And if he had to come up and said, oh, you know, big brother, I need some help with a venue or something. Yeah. You know, I need some financial help for something of the wedding. Big brother might have just said, yeah, no worries, man, I got you. But fiance's gone, stay away from your brother. Or I don't want your brother involved because he's a crackhead, as she likes to be called. Well,
anyway. Nah. He's not the arsehole.
I don't think... How old is this?
It's only 12 days ago. I'm pretty sure. The update was 10 days ago, so 2 days later.
Be interesting to see what happens, wouldn't it?
Oh, it would be. But you know what? Make them find another venue. Stuff it. Make them have their venue out in the middle of a paddock or middle of nowhere somewhere.
Either make them find another venue or, as wrong as this may sound, because it's family, charge them.
Yep.
Not a heap.
Yep.
Don't go over the top. Just say, look, all right, you can still use the place, but I am going to charge you because you
that's
don't
it.
want me in the party anymore, and that was the original agreement. Simple as
Yeah, that's it. All right,
that. Next story, you reckon?
let's go.
All right.
All right, so our next one again is Am I the Arsehole? So maybe we should have just done an Am I the Arsehole story.
Maybe.
Part 2, because we've already done one.
Mm.
All right, so am I the arsehole for leaving my sister's wedding early after she called my career a hobby?
Depends on what the career is.
Yeah. Okay. So, I, 26 female, just got back from my sister's 28 female wedding last weekend. And I'm still pretty upset about what happened. I'm hoping you all can give me some perspective because right now I feel like crap.
Okay.
Some background. My sister Anna and I have always had a complicated relationship. She's a type A, always on top of everything, super successful one, while I've always been more laid back and creative. I'm an artist, and I recently started my own small business selling my paintings and doing commissions. It's been slow, but it's starting to pick up, and I'm really proud of it. But my family, especially Anna, has always been a bit dismissive of my career choice. They don't get why I didn't go the traditional route like she did. Anyway, fast forward to the wedding. The ceremony was beautiful, and I was honestly so happy for her. I even helped out a lot with the planning, even though I wasn't the maid of honour. That was her best friend. I was doing my best to be there for her because, despite everything, she's my sister and I love her. At the reception, I finally got a moment alone with Anna to congratulate her. I told her how amazing everything was, how happy I was for her, all that stuff. And she just smiles and says, "Thanks, I'm surprised you actually made it. I figured you'd be too busy with your little hobby business." I was stunned, like, did she really just call my career a hobby? I kind of laughed it off and said, "It's not a hobby, it's my job." But she just shrugged and said, "Well, it's not a real job, but I'm glad you're having fun with it." I don't know what to say, so I just walked away. I tried to enjoy the rest of the night, but honestly, I couldn't shake what she said. It felt like she was belittling everything I've worked so hard for. So after dinner, I just decided to leave. I didn't say goodbye to her or anyone. I just grabbed my stuff and left. Now, my mum is furious with me for ruining the night by leaving early, and Anna hasn't spoken to me since. My dad is trying to stay neutral, but he did say I might have overreacted. I don't know, maybe I did, but it really hurt hearing her say that, especially on her wedding day, when I was just trying to support her. Am I the arsehole for her leaving the wedding party?
No. I
No?
can't see being the. That's like saying, all right, I'm starting a small business, right?
Yeah.
Which
you have.
I have. I've got a. It's not huge, it's not bringing in big money, but you got to start at the bottom.
Well, that's it.
And that's obviously what she's done. She's worked her way into it. Okay, the sister that got married may have very well found her way into something that's, sort of instant money working for someone else. But if she's an artist,
and it's working.
It's not. It's like any business. It's not necessarily going to be just straight into it and making big money.
Well, that's it.
It takes time and it takes patience.
Well,
so in some ways, she's probably done better than the sister. She's got the patience to do it.
I don't think she's an arsehole, but she might be the slightest bit for just upping and leaving without telling anyone. Maybe she should have said something.
She could have gone to the sister and said, "Look, I'm leaving." And if the sister said, "Oh, why?" So you could tell her why. You just called my job a hobby, and I helped you with your wedding and stuff, and I'm not even the...
Or she didn't want to do that because she could have just said, "I'm not feeling well.
Yeah.
I'll see you tomorrow.
BS your way out of it.
Great wedding.
I loved your wedding, but I'm sorry,
stuff.
I'm not feeling very well, and I think I should go home."
Pretty much. But anyway.
Yeah.
Alright. So some comments. I always laugh when one person claims that the action of another person leaving an event ruins the whole night. Yep. That's a lot of pressure on you. Are they saying that the day would have only been perfect as long as you were in attendance and nobody else mattered? That's ridiculous, and you should not even entertain the notion. You showed up and made your congratulations, and you left because your sister is a smug and superior twat.
Yep.
Tell your family that they are the ones making it into a big deal. All you did was slip out quietly. You didn't stage a scene and storm out in a huff. What a bunch of arseholes.
Well, that's kind of true. It's like, how can one person at a wedding or birthday or anything like that make the whole day? If you got like 100 people there, okay, it's a sister, but she obviously didn't care too much about the sister being there because she wasn't even in the bridal party. So it's like, well, if she's gone, like she stayed through the whole thing into the reception and that. It's like, then she left. She obviously didn't matter enough for you to really worry about this. Just all of a sudden you've noticed she's gone and gone, oh, she left.
Yeah,
well, I wonder why.
Some comments to this. In a lot of cases, including this one, the person that is leaving is doing so in response to poor behaviour on the part of someone else.
Yep.
Often the same angry person that later claims it was ruined, which makes said claim rather ironic here. If Big Sister had refrained from making the unnecessary dig, OP wouldn't have left. If the event really was ruined, the sister ruined it herself. Side note, how spiteful and petty does a bride or groom have to be to go out of their way to say unprompted, unnecessary, hurtful, nasty stuff to someone else on their wedding day? It's supposed to be one of the happiest days of your life. Why are they devoting energy just to such negativity? And someone's like, yeah, she ruined it herself. OP was respectful in my eyes, even staying for dinner, staying calm. Other scenarios she could have done, which are OP left immediately, wedding ruined. OP left after dinner and told them, wedding ruined. OP stayed but didn't look 100% happy, wedding ruined. Exactly.
Yeah.
So she done.
I don't think that.
Yeah, I get that.
I don't think OP's done anything wrong. She left quietly, by what she said anyway. She's left quietly and just gone, you know what? You obviously, the sister doesn't respect her.
Yeah.
And her choice of being an artist and trying to do her own thing, and you go, well, that's the sort of thing you should be happy for a family member, a sibling or whatever. You should be happy they've gone and done that. So, the bride, so to speak, has done it to herself.
Well, that's it. I mean, unless you're borrowing money in debt to all your friends and family, as we said in the 90s, what's her damage? And oh my God, why is everyone so dramatic? You ruined the rest of the evening. Come on, it must have been a shitty wedding if someone, not the bride and groom, leave and ruin the evening, not the arsehole. And someone commented to that, right, I wouldn't have noticed if someone left my wedding and I only had 20 people at it. I was into my husband, literally no one else existed. 16 years later and I'm still like that, only now I made space to exclude everyone but the kids. And someone's like, of course she noticed. She didn't have her punching bag when she needed someone to put down.
I mean, obviously there's not a number of how many people there, but that person just said they had 20 people there, but it's like one person would have left and they still wouldn't have noticed. And that's exactly right.
It's the same
Someone
as
leaves.
Our wedding, all I cared about, people slowly left over the night. And it was just me and you know?
That's what it's about, isn't it? It's about the bride and groom.
Well,
so,
that's it.
In the long run, you go, it doesn't really matter if someone leaves. You know, they're all going to leave eventually. Some of them have to leave earlier than others.
But then there's the stubborn people like my own father. He was struggling because he was getting pretty sick by that stage.
But he stayed there.
Still would not leave until we left and everything was packed up.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's dedication. And I told him countless times to go home.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't. But
No.
that's that father thing, isn't it?
It is.
I think he knew he wasn't going to be around for long and he wanted to be there I'm his youngest. I'm his baby, you know?
You're the baby and he's like, I'm going to be here until you go.
Yeah.
And then I'll go.
But other than that, if it's, if your mother or father left, I'm pretty sure you'd notice.
Well, of course
you
you're
know?
going to notice that. Especially a bride. She's going to know when dad leaves.
Yeah.
So.
But when it's someone else, not the arsehole. Your sister's comment was hurtful, especially since you were there to support her on her big day. Calling your career a hobby undermines the hard work and passion you've put into your art. Someone else commented, obviously, in exclamation mark, so a little comment. Yeah, well, I just wanted to come and celebrate your little fling. I'll stay longer at your next wedding.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, this is just a fling, this wedding, as it was your next one.
I'll be back next year.
It's...
And someone's like, oh my God, this made me spew coffee, can't stop laughing. Absolute perfect.
I wish I was reading this first thing in the morning to make my day better just for the laugh, you know.
Yeah.
But that's like calling, you know, I'm trying to start a business and everything, and you go, that's like saying it's just a hobby. No, it's not. I do enjoy what I do, otherwise I wouldn't be doing it, but you don't call someone's business or job or personal, I don't know what you call it. I suppose it's a business, so to speak, and if she's got a passion for it,
good on her. Well,
go for it, and I hope you reach big levels.
No, it was the same
and
when
the
you
sister's
started.
just like, the sister's just downgraded her to the floor like you're a nobody.
When you started your business, it was hard and we struggled, but I didn't just support you. I pushed you, I supported you.
You still do.
And I still do, and we went through a very quiet period, but we still managed to get through. But it wasn't only the support of me. We had the support of your parents, my mum, you know. We had the support of everybody, nobody. You won't succeed, you won't get there.
No one's ever downgraded me by saying, oh, you know what, I'd give up now. Because if I did, it would be an awkward conversation. But I'd be like, mate, I'm not going to talk to you for a while because...
But then other times it could actually make people give up when they could succeed really well.
Yeah, even if it takes them another 12 months or 10...
Yeah,
12 months. It could be 5-10 years before they really get to the level of success.
But if this is their passion, go for it.
Yeah. If you can afford, in your household, if you can afford to say, you know what, I'm going to keep going and we can live.
And that's what kept us going, you know?
You go, cool, let's keep going.
I'll keep going.
And then you have something, and she keeps going with her artwork and stuff, and in a year's time or 2 years' time,
she's some, so she must be alright.
She must be alright, and you go, good on her, and before you know it, she could be outrunning the sister and going, oh, what's the matter? I've got the money.
Yeah,
you know, I'm just using that as an example. It might not be the money, it might just be a straight out happier life because she's doing what she likes, whereas sister's working at some, you know, office, making good money, but it's not a good job. Not enjoying herself, whereas sister's going, I'm having a great life, you know, I do what I want to do, and, you know, if I want a day off, I can do it because I work for myself, so to speak, you know,
Alright, not the arsehole, it was rude to begin with, but the fact that's how she responded to you congratulating her tells me that she was intentionally trying to be hurtful and dismissive. You did not overreact by leaving. Her response to you was incredibly inappropriate. Is it possible there's a little bit of jealousy that your passion has become a sustainable career and that deep down maybe she's not quite as satisfied with her career? Just a thought. It could also be that she's just an arsehole, but I find that sometimes jealousy comes out as snark and criticism.
That's very true. Like, that's not just on Reddit, that's everywhere. You can find it everywhere that people get grumpy, snarky, all that sort of stuff because they are jealous. Yeah. They literally want what you've got. And yeah, it becomes a problem. And between siblings or very close friends, it's like, oh, I want what you've got. So they take it out on that person. It's like, well, mate, you're not going to help yourself or that person.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not the arsehole. And your sister was being somewhere between passive aggressive and outright shitty for no reason at all. If anyone ruined anything, it was her. You don't get to insult someone to their face and expect them to smile and laugh afterwards. Someone read to that, don't worry, sis. I promise I'll stay the whole way through at your next wedding. And
that's not the first person to mention the next wedding.
And someone's like, my daughter was married in May. If one of the bridesmaids cut out of the reception early, I am certain few would have noticed. This hardly falls under the pearl clutching ruin the wedding category.
It doesn't, especially considering she was just there as an attendant.
Yeah, that's it. No, she was a bridesmaid, I think.
No, she wasn't. She wasn't a bridesmaid. She wasn't the, I'm pretty positive she wasn't the bridesmaid. She was just she was just there as a sister. She helped out with the wedding and that, but she wasn't the maid of honour. She may have been a bridesmaid, but she was not the maid of honour, yet she still helped with a lot of stuff. So I don't understand why the sister would be so narky at it. It's like she helped her with her wedding. That's the maid of honour's job, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's it.
So I don't understand. You should be thanking her, not getting up her at your own wedding, because that, you know what? Maybe that's why the sister's more pissed off than anything, is because someone said something about
Not arsehole, the whole family sucks.
Yeah, someone said she didn't have a punching bag there for the rest of the night, and in some ways maybe that's it. She didn't have anyone to have a go at for the rest of the night.
Well, that's
she had to find a second person, but she didn't want to do it to a second person.
That's it. At the end of the day, she's not an arsehole for leaving the wedding early. She done it gracefully. She didn't cause a scene.
No,
and I would have bloody done the same thing.
Yeah. How old is this one? Was she deemed the arsehole or anything?
No deeming, but it was 21 days ago.
No, a bit early. But yeah, look, I think...
not the arsehole.
Not the arsehole. She probably did it... She could have said, I'll see you later, like we said, because I'm not feeling well, whatever.
But yes, she could have,
She could have said, I'm not feeling well,
but,
I've got to go
she
home.
kind of ruined a wedding just because of that. So, anyway.
No, I don't think so.
On to our last story for the night.
Okay.
Alright, let's go. And again, it's from Emma the arsehole.
Should have just done a second segment called Emma the arsehole.
Yeah. Am I the arsehole for leaving the dry wedding early to go out?
Wedding to go out.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. Anyway.
Someone needs to stop repeating their words. Oh, Jesus.
I got there.
Oh.
Anyway, so this was 63 days ago, and I'll just tell you, it has been deemed the arsehole, so whatever it is, we'll see. Okay, so 2 weeks ago, I-35 female went to a wedding in our college town for a member of our college friend group. My husband and I left the kids with my parents and we went. We got a VRBO, sorry, don't know what that is, but it's some sort of vehicle, I'm guessing, with another couple I went to college with for a few days. Oh no, maybe a sort of Airbnb.
Yeah, I'm guessing so.
Yeah, sorry. My husband and I don't have a ton of time to ourselves away from the kids, so we were excited to let loose.
Yep, agreed.
Yep, we never get it.
No, we don't get it very often, so I know what that's
I'm looking forward to November, I'll tell you that much.
Yep.
On the invitation, it said the wedding went to 11 with an after party with the bride and groom at the venue. The venue was a gorgeous mansion and the bride and groom had it for the night. They were leaving for the honeymoon the next morning. Cut to wedding day and it's a dry wedding. Apparently the groom is 2 years sober. Good on him.
Yep.
No one told us this. And we were adamantly bummed. When we found out there was no alcohol, we told people we were going to some bars after and not going to the after party. We left the wedding at 9:30 because we were itching to go out and the wedding was boring. Pretty much the whole college crew left around the same time and went out. Apparently, the bride's friend group did not stay for the party. The grooms did, and the optics were very lopsided at the party.
Yeah.
We all heard from the bride about this, and she called us arseholes for leaving. She said that she didn't feel supported and felt like we were spiting her now husband for his sobriety. I told her that she was reading too much into it. We just wanted to go out. She's especially mad at me as I'm looked at as the ringleader of this outing. I don't think I've done anything wrong. Am I the arsehole? And then there's an edit. Ceremony was at 5, reception at 6.
Okay, so 6 o'clock was the start of the reception. 9:30 you leave. So 3.5 hours you're at a reception.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand the groom / husband now.
Oh, good on him.
Is that he's probably was a pretty chronic drinker, like he had big problems, and he's gone sober for 2 years. Congratulations, well done. That's very hard for a lot of people to do, but they could have put that down that it was a dry wedding.
Yes, and they didn't.
And then they may have been able to organise something so at about 9:30, 10 o'clock, whatever, people that want to go out and have a drink, go out. And
it was a kids' free night for them. We all know what that's
like.
like.
A kids' free night, you go, You know,
But
you
in
can
saying
drink,
that-
you can do a lot of things where when you got kids, you can have a couple of drinks, you go, oh, I've got to look after kids. You
Yeah.
can't be stumbling around. I think,
I kind of get from both sides. Like the
So do
guy,
I.
they should have let him know. But most events you can drink at. This is a one-off. Why couldn't have they just dealt with it the once?
yeah, and
You
I
don't
think-
get dry events often. So they probably could have handled it for the one night.
for the one night, yeah, I think they probably could have. And if they had, they didn't say if they were ain't staying away for the one night, did they?
The weekend, I think.
The weekend, so they probably had 2 nights. Have a wet night, so to speak, the night before, the night after. Go and get drunk, and then go to the
Yeah.
wedding, have a dry night,
Yeah.
or
But they didn't. I don't think they knew until they got there.
yeah.
I don't know. But
It's-
anyway, we'll jump
it's-
to some comments to see why we can get some clarity because they have been deemed the arsehole. So.
It doesn't mean they were really like.
Alright, so you're the arsehole. You are going to get a lot of, if you don't have fun without alcohol, then you have a serious addiction problem and you suck. Crowd, but I don't agree with that sentiment at all. And I think it misses the point entirely. So I want to be clear, that's not why I'm voting you're the arsehole. I do think that couples should disclose that ahead of time so that people can plan for it since alcohol at the wedding is the norm. But you are an arsehole for this. We told people we were going to some bars after and not going to the after party. We left the wedding at 9:30. You're talking shit at her wedding. Yes.
Yeah, but you're still there for 3.5 hours, and you would have been talking to the bride and groom and so on and
But
so
they
forth.
went and told everyone they were leaving early and all this stuff.
Yeah, so they took half the reception with them
Yes,
to say, "Oi,
so that's
let's go
probably
down to
the
the local
arsehole
bar or
part,
pub or
yeah.
whatever and go get hammered."
So, yeah.
That's where they're the arsehole.
Yes, that's it. And you were talking shit at her wedding, and then you formed a whole group to leave her party early. That's a bad friend. Skipping her dry after party to go out after would be totally fine, expected even. But to leave the wedding early and bring in a group with you, yeah, you suck super, super hard. Yeah, they could have waited until
Yeah.
after the wedding.
They could have waited till after the reception and say, "Hey, look, guys, we're not coming to your dry after party."
No, but they could have stayed there and then gone out afterwards. You know?
Oh, it depends on how late you really want to be. Like, it's getting later and later.
She's trying to support her now husband. She'll be supporting him like that during the whole marriage, and you couldn't even support your friend for 1.5 hours more. Yeah, because it finished at 11.
Okay.
Life isn't about only ever doing what you want to do. You're running on a greedy algorithm, only choosing what makes you happy in the moment. Others be damned. And that's not what makes a good person. Sometimes we have to sit through long ceremonies for our siblings. Sometimes we have to go to boring art shows for our friends. Sometimes we have to participate in boring parties to celebrate the people we love. Get over it. And someone commented, so I hate to be the one to tell you this, but hey, we're going to some bars after the wedding is not talking shit. That's telling people your plans. It would be different if they were like, yeah, we're leaving this boring as wedding for some bars. But they didn't. All they said is they were going to some bars after the wedding.
And you know what? It wasn't OP's choice to invite everyone. A lot of them have probably gone, you know, that's a good idea. Let's go and have a few drinks down at the bar. So she may have said to her friend, partner, or whatever at the time, let's go have a few drinks. And and having kids and that, she's gone, you know what, we can have a few drinks. If we have one too many, we can still get back to where we're staying. And it's not a problem.
Yeah.
Now, people followed her. That wasn't necessarily her choice.
Well, that's true.
She wasn't necessarily saying, oh, come with us. She was just saying, oh, later on we're going to have a few drinks. And everyone's going, you know, that's a great idea. Doesn't mean she was the instigator. She wasn't the person saying, come with us.
Yeah, well, that's it.
She was all she did was put the idea in other people's heads. She wasn't actually trying to make them come.
Well, that's it. Someone
it's
said,
hard.
Yeah, it is. I'd like to call you not the arsehole. Had you just left quietly and not talked about it with groups of people, you would have gotten that judgment. Unfortunately, you're the arsehole. You told all the friends that this sucked and you were leaving to go get drunk and become a ringleader for the group of friends to follow. I get it, weddings can be boring and drag on. I went to a wedding, marriage didn't last longer than the wedding. The wedding.
Oh, that was a good relationship.
Yeah, the wedding started at 4 p.m. Very little food provided at the intermission before the reception. Only cucumber wedges with cream cheese. I don't know why. By 10:30, the dinner hadn't started. We ran to a diner and found other wedding guests. A complete surprise, but we all laughed it off. And then someone's like, but they didn't though. All they said is that they were going to some bars after the wedding. That's it. Nowhere in there does it say that they were telling people the wedding was boring and that they were leaving afterwards. All they said is that they were leaving. There is no obligation to go to the after party.
Yeah.
That's true, because this lady, the one before it said talking shit. They weren't talking shit.
Well, not from what the post was. OP did not say they were talking shit and gonna go. I mean, obviously OP, could have been talking shit, but...
Alright, you're the arsehole. That's kind of crappy way to treat a friend. Basically, you all abandoned the wedding celebrations, and I'm guessing she was looking forward to celebrating her wedding with her friends. Hence, why you were invited. And it was a reasonable expectation of hers that you actually wanted to celebrate her marriage since you went. Honestly, you should go to weddings to celebrate and support the marriage of the friends and / or family. Drinking should never a necessity. Even if you were bummed about the alcohol, celebrating and being happy for your friends would take priority over you getting drunk. Well, that's true, and they could have, like they said, it was finishing at, they left at 9:30. It still had an hour and a half to go. Go out afterwards. I'm guessing America, wherever it is, it's just like Australia, and there is clubs that are open till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, they had plenty of time to, at 11 o'clock, leave, congratulations, all that sort of stuff. Then go, and when you say that, you say, I hope you enjoy your honeymoon and I hope you enjoy your life together, so on and so forth. Me and a couple others, we're going down to whatever
and
bar they can
afterwards.
Get to. And we're going to have a few drinks and, we're going to celebrate you down there. While we have a few drinks, yes, having a drink isn't a necessity at a wedding or any venue. But...
Well, that's it.
I do say that, sometimes alcohol's so complicated because it makes some people one way and other people another way. So, in some cases, a dry wedding is actually a good thing.
Well, here's a perspective of someone that's partner was in recovery as well. You're the arsehole. I'm going to get downvoted because people seem to hate dry weddings. But as someone with a partner in recovery, I'll never understand why people can't go without for one night to support someone you supposedly care about. You picked getting drunk over spending time with your friends for the entire reason you were out to begin with. Edit. I knew a lot of folks would hate this and you did not disappoint. Yeah. 1 upvote against 4.1 thousand downvotes.
Yeah.
I
think that person... I understand
but it
where
is
they're coming
true,
from.
one night. It's just one night.
But see, they did most of the night. They left
Yeah,
early.
I guess so.
And yes, they should have probably waited that extra hour and a half. I think that's what makes me think they're the arsehole the most, is it was an hour and a half. Then go out with everyone. Not...
Yeah.
Look, in the long run, I would deem them the arsehole anyway. I know you said they are deemed the arsehole.
They are.
And I would agree with that. Because there was a couple of things, if they just had it changed on the night, and the biggest thing is that extra hour and a half, they would have been fine. There's some comments there that I don't agree on. It's like, yes, you don't need alcohol in any event, but, in a lot of cases, it can sometimes liven people up. It can make them feel that little bit better about themselves or whatever.
I just talk everyone's ears off.
Yes, so do I. But I get happy. When I've had a few drinks, I get sort of happy.
Here's a perspective of not the arsehole. So not the arsehole. 10 p.m. is a perfectly reasonable time to leave a wedding. Some guests started filtering out of my wedding at like 8, and I didn't cry about it. I just hugged them and sincerely thanked them for coming. And someone read, yeah, I'm with you on not the arsehole. Plenty of people left my wedding before 10 p.m, even with alcohol there. You can't control when people leave. I understand being disappointed, but they set themselves up with this by not catering to the group. I'm all for supporting sobriety, but expecting people to stay for 11 p.m. and after on their only weekend away is a little much. And someone's like, I leave any event before 10. Drinking or no, just an early bird and I can't hang.
Well, that's one thing I hadn't actually thought of until then is, when was the last time that couple got away from their kids for a couple of nights? It could have been over 12 months ago, and they've gone, a kid-free weekend.
I'll go to the wedding, and I'll go
to
there
the
for
wedding,
a while,
and then they get there and find out it's a dry wedding, and they've gone, I was looking forward to a couple of drinks tonight. Because they might not drink at home.
You don't know,
Which means they're going, I was looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Just that one little thing, along with obviously the wedding and celebrating. They're gone, well, we'll go out and have a couple of drinks at the bar. They left an hour and a half early, but I do agree, at 11 o'clock leave is quite a long...
For a sobriety,
reception.
wedding.
And
reception.
A lot of people, yes, for that long, a lot of people probably, that's why so many left, would have been thinking a couple of drinks there, get to know everyone, have a good time. It's
That's it.
Some people find it very hard to interact with people without a couple of drinks.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's funny how alcohol works on different people, and a lot of people do find it easy to interact with a drink or two.
Well, someone's just not the arsehole for leaving. I suppose it would be polite to not say anything when you're going. But I don't think leaving a wedding at 9:30 p.m. is an arsehole move. If you were going to pick up your kids or something, I don't think she'd be upset. She's upset because she's embarrassed, and she's only embarrassed because all her friends left. You're not responsible for everyone's actions. Also, I've never heard of a wedding after party. And someone's like...
That's what the reception is.
I agree. At 9:30, you basically stay for the whole wedding. Would it be nice for them to stay for the after party? Yes, but if they weren't having fun, I see nothing wrong with going somewhere else, especially since they travelled for this wedding. To me, spending money and leaving your kids for a weekend is showing support. Whether they up is telling a bunch of people about it. And that's true. So
yeah, they told quite a few people.
Well, that's true. The ceremony was at 5. The reception was at 6, and then an after party after that.
That's what I mean.
So
they've had a wedding, the reception, then they're having another party,
kind of thing. Yeah,
an after party, and you go, okay, if you said,
or are they the same thing? Because 6 to 11 is only 5 hours. So are they calling the reception an after party? They said the wedding went to 11 with an after party with the bride and groom at the venue. So I don't know.
Hang on.
Because they're saying the wedding went to 11. So it must have been, the ceremony was at 5, the reception started at 6. So they must be calling the reception the after party.
But they're saying...
Yeah. And it went to 11.
They're saying from 6 to 11 was the reception.
Yeah.
But what's an after party? I thought the after party was when everyone's gone, you go to wherever you're going next.
So I'm not sure. But anyway,
I don't get
end
that.
of the day,
I don't understand that
I
part.
kind of don't think they're the arsehole. Yes, okay,
They probably went around it wrong.
Yes.
Went about it wrong.
I think that's where they've been deemed the arsehole.
Yeah.
Anyway,
They probably told too many people they're doing it.
Yeah.
As husband and wife or partners and having no kids for the weekend, they probably should have just gone and had a few drinks.
Yeah.
And if they had been talking to each other about it and a couple of people heard
And
about
said
it,
they were down for a few days, they could have
Yeah.
used another day to have a few drinks. Oh, but
Yeah,
they
but
did bring their kids with them because they dropped them off at the parents.
Yeah.
So they probably couldn't. But
I don't
anyway,
know,
at the end of the day, they were deemed the arsehole.
And
I
think, like I said, I think the only way they were deemed the arsehole was simply because of the time.
Yep, and
But
what they
I personally
did. Yeah.
think...
I don't think they're quite the arsehole.
No.
Bits and pieces, I think.
I think it's 50-50.
Yeah. Alright, so...
I reckon the bride was more jealous.
That she,
She didn't get to go out with them all and have a drink. And she probably would have
Maybe,
loved to and all that sort of
yeah.
stuff. And you go,
But
that's
she's
better.
supporting her husband, and
Supporting
there's
her
nothing wrong
husband.
with that.
And I understand that too.
Yep. Alright, so we've come to that part of the night where we have just finished our last story.
And we sign off.
And we sign off, yes. So if anybody would like us to cover any other Reddit, subreddits, anything,
Please let us know.
drop a comment below and let us know. I really enjoyed these stories tonight.
Find us on Facebook now.
Yes, you can find us on Facebook now under Fusion. With a Z.
Yep.
Just Fusion. With a Z.
Yep.
And make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. And on YouTube there is a quick access link to our Facebook page, so that makes it easy if you can't find us.
Good.
So yeah. Hope you have a good night. I enjoyed I probably enjoyed.
Or a good day.
Yeah, I probably enjoyed the brother one where the brother decided not to give him the venue anymore.
I think that was the one.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
I think they got what they deserved to agree. Yeah.
Alright guys, time to sign off, and I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.